Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. I'm the Tilted Crown Gourmet. If you watched my video last week, you would have experienced my leprechaun hat napkin folding tutorial, as well as some tips and tricks about setting your table. Last year, I presented to you my ultimate corned beef and cabbage. This year, I'm going to be continuing to add on to that video. Therefore, today, I'm going to be showing you a vinegar-based coleslaw, which I think pairs extremely well with our corned beef and cabbage. Therefore, without further ado, let's roll up those sleeves, let's get some prep done, and let's get cooking. We're going to start by adding some apple cider vinegar to our shaker. We're going to follow that with some grainy mustard, some sugar. Now understand, with the sugar addition, you could substitute agave or you could substitute honey instead of sugar. I like to add some celery seed. Now, the celery seed could also be added to your actual cabbage mixture if you chose. However, I'm actually going to be preparing this the morning of my dinner. Therefore, I want to keep my dressing and my veggies separate. So I'm going to still cut up all my veggies and I'm going to put them in the bowl, but I'm doing my vinaigrette separate, and I'm going to keep it separate until right before it's time to serve a salad course. Last but not least, we're going to be adding our olive oil. I lied, not last but not least. We're going to add salt and pepper. And remember what I always say, this is to taste. You put as much or as little as you want, because some people don't like salt, or they can't eat salt because of health issues. So you have to moderate that. Or possibly you could use a salt substitute. Gonna close this up. Oops. If I don't make a mess first. Hold on. Gotta give it a wipe. Now we're gonna try that again. Close this up. Give it a shake. Because what we want to do is we want to emulsify everything. Get everything all mixed together. Now that it's all mixed together, let's give it a taste. That's quite lovely. So we're going to get this and we're going to put it in the refrigerator, and we're going to have it ready for when our salad course is going to be served. Now, let's start getting our veggies ready for our coleslaw. First, we're gonna have green onion. I've already peeled a carrot. I'm gonna go ahead and put that here. We're gonna have purple or red cabbage and your standard green cabbage. So, starting with our standard green cabbage, we're gonna go ahead and cut that in half. Because for this particular dish, I actually only wanna use half. So we're gonna cut it in half and we're gonna put half away. Then we're gonna go into our cabbage and we're gonna core it, pop our core out. Set it aside. Now we're gonna get our cabbage and just go ahead and slice it. We're gonna slice our half in half. With our purple cabbage, our red cabbage, we're gonna slice it in half as well. But with this one, I'm actually only gonna use about a quarter of it. So we're gonna also core it, and then now we have the amount that we're gonna use. Let's get started with our coleslaw. Well, let's continue with our coleslaw. So I have my mandolin. I have it set pretty thin, and I'm gonna just go ahead and cut up our cabbage, starting with the red cabbage first. The order doesn't matter. Just remember, always be careful when you're dealing with mandolins, they're extremely, extremely sharp. So you want to be really, really careful when you're utilizing your mandolin. So you have all of your red or purple cabbage cut up. Now that I've sliced up all of my red or purple cabbage, depending on what you call it, I've placed it into my pre-chilled bowl that I've pulled out of my refrigerator. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside. We're gonna get our mandolin back, and now we're gonna do our green cabbage. Same process. We wanna slice it really, really thin. Again, you want to make sure you are careful with your fingers. Mandolins really help to making things such like it's coleslaw really, really quick. Now this bunch of green cabbage is going to go into my chilled bowl along with my red cabbage. We're going to go ahead and slice up our green onion. Now with our green onion, we want to try to make those pretty thin, because remember, we're making a coleslaw and everything that we've put in here thus far has been really thinly sliced. So we want to do the same with our green onion. And remember what I've always said about additions to things such as salads, coleslaws, etc. If there are certain things that you really like, maybe add more of those items to your coleslaw. If there are things that you don't particularly care for, maybe you leave those out. We're gonna add these to our chilled bowl. And now it's time to grate our carrot. I have a Asian style peeler, so I'm gonna use that to grate up my carrot. Now I could put an additional attachment on my mandolin, however this is quicker and quite frankly it's easier to clean. So now that I have my strips, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them down because I think they're a bit long. I want them shorter. And now we have nice small pieces to add to our bowl. So this is our result. This is our coleslaw. So now what I just do is I just go in with my hands and mix everything up. Because remember, we are going to be serving this later on this evening, and we still have to dress it with the vinaigrette that we made a little bit earlier. But at this point, what I want to do is I'm trying to break everything up. I want to try to incorporate all of our items throughout our coleslaw. And there you have our coleslaw that's ready for this evening. So now what I'll do is I'll get it and I'll cover it in cling film and I'll put it in the refrigerator until later. The wonderful part about this coleslaw, you could do it up to 3 days ahead of time. The important part is that you do not dress it until right before you're ready to serve it. So I'm back, and the salad course is about to begin with our wonderful vinegar-based coleslaw. This is an amazing accompaniment to, once again, my ultimate corned beef and cabbage. So we're just gonna give our vinaigrette a bit of a shake, dress our coleslaw, and we're gonna give it a toss. You know there's a joke in there. I'm just saying. Those who know, know. So now once you toss your coleslaw, you're gonna wanna give it a taste because you wanna make sure that you don't maybe need to add a little bit more salt or maybe celery seed or something. So just give it a nice little toss, and we're gonna give this a taste. That's fantastic. As I've said before, that's the bee's knees.
Remember,
Your kitchen is your passport to the world, allowing you to explore diverse cultures and cuisines right from home as you explore new flavors and techniques. And as always, bon appetit.